make our infrastructure great for the next bull market, to have joint acceleration program or joint incubation program with big company, let's say Meta. In incoming years, I think I would like to make Astar as one of the top chain.
Hello and welcome to Crypto Interviews. My name is Claudio and this is Cryptochain, the channel that brings you crypto news, reviews, tutorials, and interviews with a focus on the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystems. And joining me today is the founder and CEO of Astar Network, Sota Watanabe, who is really well known in Japan, especially because he's recently been nominated in the Forbes of Japan for having one of the best tech out there with regards to Astar Network. I mean, he's got ties to a lot of important people in Japan. We'll find out more about that. So, Sota, thank you very much for taking the time to come on my show. I really appreciate it. I'm sure the community will also appreciate it. If you want to just give a quick background about yourself, just in case there are people that don't know who you are.
Oh yeah, sure. Thank you very much for taking time for me today. My name is Sota Watanabe, founder of Astar Network and the Starter Lab. Astar Network is the future of smart contract platform for multi-chain era. And we became one of the first Polkadot parachain last year. So we are still young, but our ecosystem is getting bigger and bigger. We do have more than 100 projects on the top of Astar. Since Astar is like a smart contract hub, we can have DeFi, we can have NFT, and so on. So our feature is like we have a WebAssembly as well as EVM. According to Gavin Wood, WebAssembly is the future of the smart contract, but the EVM is important right now. So we have both. Apart from a technical perspective, we are super popular in Japan. We're going to be like a chain, layer one blockchain backed by Japan. I would say like Ethereum in Japan or something like that.
Yeah.
And we have a partnership with some of the major companies like NTT Docomo, which is the largest mobile operator in Japan, and 30% of the Japanese people are using NTT Docomo every day. And I'm going to announce two big news. I mean, partnership with the top companies in Japan in February and March. So I'm super excited to make Astar bigger.
Interesting. And we've actually heard a rumor that I don't know how we're going to work together, but I assume you will in some way with Oasys Gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Can you please share some details about that if it's possible?
Yeah, Oasys is the blockchain made by some Japanese founders, and they're focusing on gaming use cases. So in this sense, we do have an overlap sometime, but they're making the layer one blockchain for gaming, and Astar is more generic layer one public blockchain. And we are public blockchain. I would say Oasys is consortium blockchain right now.
Okay, cool. So it's still the early days then for them.
Yeah.
Before we're going to see some real integrations. Okay, cool. And let's talk about WASM then. Like we know that you're working with WASM, but also you've got the EVM functionality and the protocol, right, that you're using. So you can get dApps that use both Solidity and also the WASM version, which can use JavaScript and other programming languages, right? So can you please explain, like, how would you see yourself differentiating from someone like Moonbeam Network, who's also very popular in the Polkadot ecosystem?
Yeah, so Astar is the smart contract for next generation. So Ethereum virtual machine is very important right now, and everyone is using it. But I think I'm seeing the shift from EVM to WebAssembly. The reason is WebAssembly support multiple languages. Let's say Rust, JavaScript, Java, C++, and so on. So EVM is the virtual machine for Web3 developer. And WebAssembly is the virtual machine not only for Web3 developer, but also Web2 developer. Because WebAssembly is mainly built by tech giants like Google, Apple, Mozilla, and so on. So our mission is to bring Web3 to Web2 people and make the pie bigger together. And another thing is WASM is faster in terms of the efficiency and also secure and better than Ethereum virtual machine. But in terms of the ecosystem, I think EVM is very big. in terms of the WebAssembly, we don't have enough auditing company, we don't have enough toolings, and so on. So that's why we are making Swanky, which is like Truffle, all-in-one Web1 tooling, Web3 tooling for WebAssembly development.
Okay, is this like an
Yeah.
SDK by any chance?
Yeah, SDK.
Okay, cool. Software development toolkit for those who don't know. Okay,
Yes.
cool. Thank you. And let's talk about your Canary network now as well, Shiden. We know that you launched that in 2021. You were the third winner of the Kusama parachain auctions.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I remember those days. Everyone was really hyped up. You know, it was the bull market. So tell us about Shiden. Like, what are your plans with Shiden? And because I'm curious to hear your thoughts on progress. We know that now the shift has kind of gone towards focus on Polkadot and less on the Canary. So I'm curious how you're going to treat Shiden in the near future, and if you still see a utility for it going forward, or do you possibly see a merger over to Astar 100% and to eventually decommission Shiden?
Yeah. So when we introduce new technical feature, we always implement on Shiden first. So one of the things we have to check the capability is the governance. So, technically speaking, it is easy for us to implement the governance on Astar. But when we introduce governance, the network needed to be distributed. The token needed to be well distributed. Because without distribution, without decentralization of the power, the governance is going to be another, dictatorship, right? Of the VC. So token needed to be distributed. So what we would like to do is to implement the on-chain governance on Shiden first to see the capability, and we can understand how much the network should be decentralized, right? And in terms of Shiden, I think we are going to implement some of the unique use cases, especially WebAssembly. So let's say we can introduce WebAssembly on Shiden, and we have already implemented WebAssembly, virtual machine on Shiden. So, but in terms of the Astar, we have to finalize the audits of the WebAssembly palette first to introduce on Astar. But WebAssembly is already implemented on Shiden, so we can deploy some of the DeFi use cases, NFT marketplace written in Rust, to see the capability. I think Shiden is going to be a playground, but in the long run, let's say 10 years or something like that, maybe we're gonna merge Shiden and Astar, but nothing is decided yet. So I think this is going to be decided by the community.
Okay, interesting. And when you say you're going to create a governance system, will that be open governance, like the same as we're seeing on Kusama right now?
Yeah, open governance. Okay. And the governance is not sophisticated enough, in my opinion. So, that's why, how can I say, participants of the governance is very low, right? Very small.
Yeah.
So we have to upgrade the governance, and let's say preparing for the incentive or making the governance process more transparent and so on. So there are a lot of the things we have to improve, even Kusama and Polkadot.
Interesting. Okay, so because I've noticed that with a lot of the parachain teams, they're kind of focusing their attention towards the main networks, and they'll probably look at mergers eventually. I don't know if in 2023 or 2024, but it looks like it is coming. So that's why I wanted to get your thoughts on what your plans are with Shiden. Okay, so in terms of technicalities, I mean, you still need Shiden because you want that staging network. It's ultimately a staging network, right? Because it's in production with real live data, and you need to do testing on there. So that's definitely one that you need to think about. So let's talk about, I mean, if you will eventually merge into Astar and you'll only have Astar in production, where are you going to be doing your testing then? Will you be doing it on Rococo or where, or West End, or how are you going to be doing that? Because you still need to test your features before deploying them, right? So.
I think this is a good question. Maybe our testnet or maybe Parity's testnet and so on, but it is always better to Canary network to test because Canary network has real value.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
So that may be a challenge then when it comes to decommissioning Shiden altogether.
Yeah, true.
We'll see.
Not decided yet. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right. Let's talk about the next topic, and this is with regards to funding. I'm sure you don't have any problems, but I still need to ask this question because it is the bear market. The sentiment is down for a lot of people, and a lot of investors are wondering how teams are doing in terms of funding and
Yeah.
runway. I have to
Yeah.
ask you, how many years would you say you have funding for when it comes to development for Astar, so that you don't have to be forced to make people redundant from the team and, to keep everyone happy?
Yeah.
If you
So
could
we
please
have
tell us.
a more than 2.5 years runway. So I think it's longer than other projects. Luckily, we raised 22 million led by Polychain and Coinbase in January last year. So we are well funded. This is just lucky, but we raised 22 million before the crash, before Luna or before FTX.
Yeah.
So I think, let's say some of the project are firing people, like including Coinbase, but we are hiring people right now. So if you are interested in working with us, feel free to reach out to me.
Okay,
So
we're gonna
I'm very confident.
we're gonna post a link to the to where people should email, right? If they want to apply
Yeah.
for jobs, or maybe to just check the website.
Yep.
There's a career
Yep.
page, right, where they can check and
Yep.
they can see what's available. We're gonna post that in the description of the video, by the way, so just check that out at the end.
Right. Right. So I'm pretty much confident. So the things right now we have to do is to push the ecosystem because other people are slowing down. So we're gonna speed up, and we have a capability to do so. And another thing is I established a starter lab, which is like parity or consensus, which is a private company. And Asta is going to be like a foundation style, right? Non-profit. By using this entity, I'm going to provide consulting service or R&D service to the company. Then this is going to be another revenue source. And I have been already speaking with some of the legendary company over there. So I think we will see some of the great announcement in coming months or coming week.
Awesome, awesome, great to hear. And let's talk a bit about the dApps on Astar Network. Now, a lot of these dApps are quite small. Some of them are being used more, others not so much. So my question is now with regards to new dApps coming to Astar. I mean, do you have anything exciting coming up? Maybe you can't share the name or anything, but is there anything exciting coming up in terms of dApps that do you think will have more users and will attract more attention as those L2s on top of Astar?
Yeah, so in my opinion, right now it's this bear market, right?
Yeah.
So very few one care about API or APL, and so on. I mean, return. So what we have to do right now is to, make our infrastructure great for the next bull market. Next bull market, everyone is talking about APL, or everyone talk about, migration or incentive and so on. So last time, we are too young to support the hype.
Yeah.
But for the next time, we should be ready to get a lot of the transaction, a lot of the total value locked, and so on. So what we have to do right now is to make the best infrastructure out there. And then we can have sophisticated DeFi or sophisticated NFT and so on. Yeah, right now it is bear market. So I'm speaking with some of the external dApps like DeFi and NFT to migrate. Yeah, and I shifted our strategy a little bit. So before the crash, my strategy is like DeFi or NFT. But after the crash, my focus is right now the enterprises. So let's say this is just an example. Let's say we're gonna work with, Meta. Then there are a lot of the NFT projects or maybe gaming use cases. They will be interested in Astar.
Yeah.
For the migration. What we would like to do is to have joint acceleration program or joint incubation program with big company, let's say Meta. And then a lot of the people outside of the Astar Network ecosystem would like to reach out to Meta, and then they're gonna deploy on us.
Wow, that would be big. Wow, amazing.
Yeah. By the way, Meta is just an example.
Yeah, I know. If it's gonna be the real announcement, though, you know, people are gonna be like, ah, you gave us the alpha in Claudio's video on Crypto
Oh
Exchange
yeah,
channel.
yeah,
So we'll have some proof at least.
yeah.
That'll be good. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Now let's talk a bit about partners in terms of within the ecosystem. So we know that Fala Network, who are also building Fala World, are actually creating what is known as the FAT contract, PHAT contract, which is interesting because it allows connectivity between Web 2 apps to come to
Mhm.
Web 3 and then to then use the smart contracts. Do you have did you talk to the team at Fala Network? Do you have any kind of collaboration they're going? Because I've heard a lot of devs are planning to use that FAT contract because it is proving to be really useful. Have you had a chance to evaluate it yourself or to talk to the team?
Yeah. So we have been speaking with Fala, especially a Swanky side. So they're gonna support WebAssembly too. So we would like to, you know, we would like to work with them to make our SDK better together. And they're also XCMP. So our chain and Fala has been already connected, I guess. So we can bring Astar token to Fala token to Astar, and vice versa. But right now, our use cases and our partnership is pretty much limited. So we would like to expand step by
Interesting.
step.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
And what about other parachain teams? Maybe BitCountry with a 3D platform Metaverse? Remark, anyone else? I'm just curious to see what other partnerships you could have going.
Yeah, we have been opening up a lot of the channel with other parachain, but I think all the ecosystem is dragging right now. So everyone is satisfied with opening the channel. That's it. The use case is transferring the token.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
That's
this
what we're
is
seeing right now. I mean, it's just opening up the channel
yeah.
and these transfer. But I mean, like in terms of integrations, do you think we're gonna see something like this happen? I mean, are you in talks with any of the teams from the parachains?
Yeah, what we would like to do is to make, the use case that use XCMP very well. So right now, as I said, people are satisfied with transferring the token from A parachain to B parachain and vice versa,
Yeah.
right? But in the future, this can be, simple. So let's say I deploy DEX on the top of Astar, and within a click, just one click, I can transfer a Moonbeam token to Astar and swap to Akara on Astar or something like that.
Yeah.
Right now, we have to install MetaMask, and the people have to use our application to transfer Moonbeam token to Astar, and they have to go to the DeFi page and the swap. There are at least 3 or 4 steps. This
Yeah.
can be 1 step or 2 step. So UI and UX, we have to improve.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so we can expect more than to happen in 2023 in terms of advancement with regards to XCM and how applications are going to be integrated. Cool.
Yep.
And yeah, I think I've got everything covered. I don't have any other questions, but I do have one final question for you. This is not tech related. It's just what is one thing in life that you truly desire?
In incoming years, I think I would like to make Asta as one of the top chain everyone is using. So this is what we would like to do. There are a lot of the projects, and there are a lot of the similar projects. There are so many people in this industry, but I would like to make something people want or people actually use. So I think, a lot of the people are talking about technology, which is good. Technology is the core competence, the core advantages, right? But technology itself is not enough. So we have to think about business strategy, marketing strategy, and also technical strategy. So what we would like to do right now is to enhance our BD, business development capability, and marketing capability, as well as tech. In the long run, I would like to make something people actually use. When I say people actually using Asta today, but I'm saying, billion of people.
That would be huge. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope it comes true, and Astar will really do well. I mean, in terms of
Yeah.
development activity, you've been doing extremely well. I've been keeping an eye out on it. There's this team who's called Polkadot Insider on Twitter, and they like to post a lot of tweets with regards to
Yep.
development activity in the last 7 days, in the last month. And you guys have been at the top of the list many times. So it's really
Yep.
great to see that, for people who obviously don't have time to check GitHub all the time. It's nice to get a
Right.
report, and just to see, okay, Astar are actually developing quite a lot. So I'm really happy
Yep.
to see that. I'm glad to see that. Thank you. Keep up the good work. Thank you as well
Thank you
for
very much.
coming on once again. And once again, if you want to check out Astar or join their Telegram group or Discord, social media, Twitter, you can find the link in the description of this video. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.